Hello everyone and welcome to the nation of free to play. I'm Mr. Mondstadt and today we are gonna talk about Teapot's global currency, Mora, or more precisely, how to get it fast. We will cover 10 methods on how to obtain Mora without using any resin, so make sure to stick around till the end. Also, if you're watching this and want to see more useful F2P videos, please consider subscribing. It costs you nothing but would really help this channel as I put a lot of time and effort into these videos. Thanks. Now back to the topic at hand. I think we all have been at the point in Genshin where we ran out of Mora, no matter whether you're free to play or a whale. Mora is required for literally anything in the game, from ascending a character over enhancing a weapon or talents to rolling artifacts. One day you have millions and the next day you're out. But in this video I will share with you 10 tips on how to get Mora fast and give you my F2P routine. So let's start with the most obvious and probably most efficient way to fill your pockets, which is farming ley lines. I know nobody really wants to spend their resin on Mora, but to be honest, if you really need it, there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of times it's actually a better investment than farming more artifacts. I try to use at least 40 resin a day on ley lines to never run out of resources. For 20 resin you will get 60k Mora, and since you will get about 180 resin per day, you can get up to 540,000 just from that. But I promise 10 ways that won't require resin, so let's talk about the other ways to become rich. The second way of getting a lot of Mora every day is by doing an artifact fodder route. By spending 15 to 20 minutes on such a route, you can get over 120 1 and 2 star artifacts per day, and if you don't need the fodder for leveling up your 5-star pieces, you can destroy them instead and get Mora in return. This will give you about 85,000 Mora every day, which means over 500,000 in a week. Completely free, costs you not a single resin, so I strongly recommend doing a fodder route. I uploaded one myself in case you're still looking for one. Option number 3. Explore more. Exploration is a great way to get a lot of materials back. Talent books, hero's wit, and a lot of Mora. If you haven't 100%ed your map yet, now is the time to do so. But if you're an explorer like me, this option is not as beneficial for you. Make sure though that you also maxed out your statues and trees, and with leftover sigils you can buy, you guessed it, Mora. Option number 4. Do quests. Any quest works, world quests, story quests, or even hangouts. I know not all of them are super fun, but the rewards are pretty decent, so if you're broke, make sure to reach all endings with the 4-star of your choice. You will also get some primos and achievements on the side, so a good way to spend a rainy afternoon. Option number 5. Use your Teapot. Teapot sells a lot of valuable items every week, and by exchanging your realm currency, you can get up to 200,000 Mora per week. It requires no work, you just have to collect it. Option number 6. Kill things. Whenever you defeat an opponent in the overworld, they drop some materials as well as some Mora. A hilly turtle will only give you about 40 Mora, but an elite enemy will give you between 200 and 600 per kill. And trust me when I say there are a lot of elite enemies in the game. This method can take some time though and is not as efficient as a fodder route, but if you're short on Mora, it's still an option since time is money. Personally, I track down elite enemies whenever I have some extra time in the game. I get my strongest team, make sure you have some different elements so nothing is immune, and then I start my farming. I usually hunt down all Geovisharps and all Dark Serpent Knights in the chasm first, because these enemies give 600 Mora each. After that I go to Enkanomia and kill a bunch of Visharps. After that I track the aliens in Fontaine, because they're kinda close to each other and always show up in groups. They drop 200 to 400 Mora depending on their size. Other good options are the primal constructs in the desert, there are a lot of them and killing them is super fast. 200 per kill, it adds up. You can continue as long as you want and as long as there are enemies in the game. I don't recommend hunting down everything though, as it will take hours and your time is probably better spent by playing a hangout or any other quest. Option number 7. Do random events. Random events can be triggered up to 10 times a day, and every time they give you some Mora as well as some friendship XP. The fastest way to trigger these events is to go to this spot in Inazuma and feed the dog. Every time you log back in the game, this event will be triggered, so you can really make the dog happy. Option number 8. Do Abyss and Imaginary Theater. This is a tip for all players who don't like playing this kind of endgame content. I know Abyss can get annoying and frustrating, but you don't have to 36 star it. However, you should at least clear all the floors that you can clear with comfort and ease to get the rewards, as it gives a lot. The same applies to all events as well, but that's obvious, so that's not really a tip on its own. Option number 9. Do your daily check-in. It does not give a lot, but it's a small amount you get passively, so might as well claim it. Option number 10. Send your characters on Mora expedition. If you send the max amount of units, you will get 25k Mora a day from them. And option 11. Take part in surveys. Genshin has a lot of surveys and they ask for feedback on a character, an event or a patch. Do those surveys, you will get 30k Mora per survey and it only takes you 5 minutes. So those are the 10 best F2P options to get Mora fast. Now for the second part of the video, let's find out on how much exactly we can get every single day. First of all, we do our dailies, of course. They give a total of 39,475 Mora, so good start. Then we send all of our characters on Mora expedition for 20 hours. This will give us 25k per day, and if you have your units that give a bonus, even more. After that we do our artifact route. This will take about 15 to 20 minutes and should give you roughly 85k Mora on average if you destroy the collected 1 and 2 star artifacts. Personally, I rather get the artifact XP, but if you're really broke, it's a more than viable resource. So far we already got 150k and this should not take you longer than 30 minutes overall. If you really want to min-max though, it is time to fight some enemies. You can do this as long as you feel like it. I usually fight Geo Bishops, Black Serpent Knights, Bishops in Enkanomia, the aliens in Fontaine and the primal constructs in the desert. After I tracked and hunted them all down, I got 1500-800 Mora. Also, some enemies drop 3 and 4 star artifacts, which you could convert into Mora as well. Lastly, you can go to the dog in Inazuma and feed it, then log out, log back in, feed it and repeat the process 10 times. Each time this random event gives you about 1800 Mora, so another 18k in the bank. These 2 steps can take up to an hour though, so be aware of that. As a last source, we use the Teapot. You get 200,000 Mora per week, which equals out to be 28,570 per day. That's all. Now it's time to sum things up.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
Dailies 39,475, expedition 25,000, photo route 85,000, random event 18,000, elite enemies hunting 15,800, Teapot 28,570, so in total we have 211,845 per day without any resin. If you do use your resin, you can get an additional 540,000 Mora per day. Overall, if you're really desperate for Mora, you can get up to 750k every day. That means 1.482 million Mora per week without any resin, and 5.25 million with resin. Also, this is if you don't open any chests, play any quests or claim any event or battle pass rewards, plus abyss and theater rewards. So lots of sources for you to become rich in no time. Being broke in Genshin is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. With a little time and effort you will fill your pockets again. Anyway, this brings us to the end of this video. I hope this was helpful and you learned about some more ways to get Mora. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It literally costs you nothing. Also, let me know in the comments down below how much Mora you have and what you're planning to do with it next. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!